At Michigan, you'll often hear the saying, "Hail to the victors." And of course, it is a great saying, but how come we've never heard "sleet to the victors"? Well, sleet and hail may look similar, but believe me, they're not. You might be thinking, what the hell? That's bull sleet. Aren't they both just ice falling from the clouds? Today, we're going to find out the difference between sleet and hail, and answer the question, how do atmospheric conditions that produce sleet differ from those that produce hail? And hey, maybe if we have time, we'll even talk a bit about freezing rain and what's up with that. So let's start with sleet. Sleet is formed when falling raindrops freeze as they encounter a sub-freezing layer in the atmosphere. What does sub-freezing mean? Below 0 degrees Celsius. So now think of the layer of air below the cloud as a temperature that is above freezing. The precipitation from the cloud will then melt, right? Basically into a raindrop. Okay, so now imagine that the temperature near the surface of the Earth is below freezing, and the melting raindrop continues to fall into that area. If this surface air layer is thick and cold enough, it will refreeze the raindrop before reaching the ground, of course, turning it into none other than sleet. This is unlike freezing rain, which is when raindrops don't freeze until actually hitting the ground. In general, sleet will look like little ice pellets on the ground, whereas freezing rain will appear as slippery ice stuck onto the ground or other objects. Now, hail, that's a little more complicated. It's known to happen in the dense storm cloud known as cumulonimbus. It involves ice crystals and supercooled water droplets. Now that's super cool if you ask me. Ice crystals exist in clouds with a temperature below 0 degrees Celsius again. Think about snow for a second. Snow is essentially an aggregate of ice crystals. As for the supercooled water droplets, they are water droplets which still exist in liquid form, at temperatures below 0 degrees Celsius. These ice crystals will collide with the supercooled water droplets while caught in a strong updraft that comes due to different temperatures in different layers of the atmosphere. The supercooled water droplets will immediately freeze onto the ice crystals, and as more and more do that, they will accrete and become much larger. Eventually, they become so large and so heavy that this strong updraft will be unable to hold them up and continue the cycle, and they'll drop down to Earth's surface in the form of a hailstone. And there you have it. Simply put, sleet can be seen as freezing raindrops, whereas hail is water droplets that freeze on ice crystals and continually grow larger and larger. Wow, what a fun segment. We laughed, we cried, we learned. It's been great. So next time you're talking to a stranger about the weather, take it up a notch to the extreme and have yourself a chat about sleet and hail.